Okay, YouTube, today's reading is going to be on Pisces. We're going to start with the blind Bible pool, and then we'll get into the tarot cards. Alright, so we have Samuel 18:13, and we're at verse 24. It's going to be Absalom's death. David went to Mahanaim, and Absalom crossed the Jordan with all the men of Israel. Absalom had appointed Amasa over the army of place of Job. Amasa was the son of Jether, an Ishmaelite, who married Abigail, the daughter of Nahash and sister of Zeruiah, the mother of Joab. The Israelites and Absalom camped in the land of Gilead. It says, when David came to Mahanaim, uh, Shabi, the son of Nahash, from Rabbah of the Ammonites, and Machir, son of Amiel, from Lodabar, and Barzillai, the Gileadite, from Rajalim, brought bedding and bowls and articles of pottery. They also brought wheat and barley, flour and roasted grain, beans, lentils, and honey, curds, sheep, and cheese from cow's milk for David and his people to eat. For they said, the people have become exhausted and hungry and thirsty in the wilderness. David mustered the men who were with him and appointed over them commanders of thousands of commanders of hundreds. David sent out his troops, a third under the command of Joab and a third under Joab's brother Abishai, son of Zeruiah, and a third under Ittai the Gittite. The king told the troops, I myself surely march out with you. But the men said, you must not go out. If you are forced to flee, they won't care about us. Even if half of us die, they won't care. But you are worth 10,000 of us. It would be better now for you to give us support from the city. The king answered, I will do whatever seems best to you. So the king stood beside the gate while all his men marched out in units of hundreds and thousands. The king commanded Joab, Abishai, and Ittai, be gentle with the young men. Absalom, for my sake. And all the troops heard the king giving orders concerning Absalom to each of the commanders. David's army marched out of the city to fight Israel, and the battle took place in the forest of Ephraim. There, Israel's troops routed to David's men, and the casualties that day were great. 20,000 men. The battle spread out over the whole countryside, and the forest swallowed up more men that day than the sword. Now Absalom happened to meet David's men. He was riding his mule, and his mule went under the thick branches of a large oak. Absalom's hair got caught in the tree. He was left hanging in mid-air while the mule he was riding kept going on. When one man saw what had happened, he told Joab, I said, I just saw Absalom hanging in the oak tree. Joab said to the man who told him who had told him this, what, you saw him? Why didn't you strike him to the ground right there? Then I would have give you 10 shekels of silver and a warrior belt. But the man replied, even if 1,000 shekels were weighed out into my hands, I would not lay a hand on the king's son. In our hearing, the king commanded you and Abishai and Ittai, protect the young men Absalom for my sake. And if I had put my life in jeopardy and nothing is hidden from the king, you would have kept your distance from me. Joab said, I'm not going to wait like this for you. So he took the 3 javelins in his hand and plunged them into Absalom's heart, while Absalom was still alive in the oak tree, and 10 of Joab's armor bearers surrounded Absalom, struck him, and killed him. Then Joab sounded the trumpet, and the troops stopped pursuing Israel, for Joab halted. They took Absalom, threw him into the big pit of the forest, and piled up the large heap of rocks over him. Meanwhile, all the Israelites fled to their homes. During his lifetime, Absalom had taken a pillar and erected it into the king's valley as a monument to himself, for he thought, I have no son to carry on the memory of my name. He named the pillar after himself, and it is called Absalom Monument to this day. Now, Ahimaaz, a son of Zadok, said, Let me run and take the news to the king that the Lord has vindicated him by delivering him from the hand of his enemies. You are not the one to take the news to today, Joab told him. You may take the news another time, but you must not do so today, because the king's son is dead. Then Joab said to the Cushite, Go tell the king what you have seen. The Cushite bowed down before Joab and ran off. Ahimaaz, son of Zadok, again said to Joab, Come what may, please let me run behind the Cushite. But Joab replied, My son, why do you want to go? You don't have any news that will bring you reward. He said, Come what may, I want to run. So Joab said, Run. And the Ahimaaz ran by way of the plain and outran the Cushite. While David was sitting between the inner and outer gates, the watchman went up to the roof of the gateway by the wall. As he looked out, he saw the man running alone, and the watchman called out to the king and reported it. The king said, If he is alone and must have good news. And the runner came closer and closer. Then the watchman saw another runner, and he called down to the gatekeeper, Look, another man running alone. The king said, He must be bringing good news, too. The watchman said, It seems to me that the first one runs like Ahimaaz, son of Zadok. He's a good man, the king said. He comes with good news. And then Ahimaaz called out to the king, All is well. He bowed down before the king with his face to the ground and said, Praise be to the Lord of your God. He has delivered up those who lifted their hands against my lord the king. The king asked, Is the young man Absalom safe? Ahimaaz answered, I saw great confusion just as Joab was about to send the king's servant and me, your servant, but I don't know what it was. The king said, Stand aside and wait here. So he stepped aside and stood there. Then the Cushite arrived and said, My lord king, hear the good news. The Lord has vindicated you today by delivering you from the hand of all who rose up against you. The king asked the Cushite, Is the young man Absalom safe? The Cushite replied, May the enemies of my lord the king and all who rise up to harm you be like that young man. The king was shaken. He went up to the room over the gateway and wept. As he went, he said, Oh, my son Absalom, my son Absalom. If only I had died instead of you. O Absalom, my son, my son. Joab was told, The king is weeping and mourning for Absalom. And the whole army, the victory that day was turned into a mourning, because on that day the troops heard it said, The king is grieving for his son. The men stole into the city that day as men steal and who are ashamed when they flee from battle. The king covered his face and cried out, Oh, my son Absalom, my son. Then Joab went into the house of the king and said, Today you have humiliated all your men who have just saved your life and the lives of your sons and daughters and the lives of your wives and concubines. You love those who hate you and hate those who love you. You have made it clear today that the commanders and their men mean nothing to you. I see that you would be pleased if Absalom were alive today and all of us were dead. Now go out and encourage your men. I swear by the Lord that if you don't go out, not a man will be left with you by nightfall. This will be worse for you than all the calamities that have come on from your youth till now. So the king got up and took his seat in the gateway. When the men were told the king is sitting in the gateway, they all came before him. Meanwhile, the Israelites had fled to their homes. Okay, so Pisces, you could be dealing with a situation where you either know or don't know that family members or your own children have come against you. And this could be a message that you continue to show love um, and continue to support them when it's very clear that they wish nothing but bad upon you. And you could be in a situation where you're looking at ones that do love and support you as if they are your enemies when they're not. So you may need to sit down and rethink um, who it is that you feel is against you and reevaluate the ones that you do know that are against you, but you refuse to believe it because they are family or your children. So as far as the cards, the universal cards that came out were change, commitment, heart, gratitude, sacredness, inspiration, and sharing. So there's been a change, massive change in your life, and due to your commitment and the type of heart that you have, you've been held in a sacred honor or a sacred place within the divine's heart or heaven altogether. Um, and when all of this is said and done, there's going to be an inspiration that you're going to be sharing with the world. For your Celtic astrology card that came out, you drew Alder, the Trailblazer. So Alder the Trailblazer, it says you have a personal warmth that draws people like a welcoming fire. If you wish, you will never lack for friends and good company, but your adventurous spirit may be hard to keep up with. Alder folk want to move and explore, always taking in the new and the unknown. They want to fill every moment of life with vital experiences, and their enthusiasm is contagious. The rising restlessness of spring is strong in the alder-born. You may tend toward impatience with those who are more hesitant or less confident. Let your natural kindliness lead the way or strike out on your own. There's been a lot of signs with Pisces, something about spring. So obviously this spring has passed, but there may be something coming next spring that you either need to slow down and pay attention to, or by next spring, whoever is not at the same pace as you, you need to just keep moving. Then for the angel cards, you drew the sun. So it says life is wonderful. Thrive through the power and positive thinking and inspiring success. You have 5 of Gabriel. The challenge you can resolve. Withdraw from the drama of others. Have patience with yourself and those around you. And then 2 of Ariel. It's important to have balance, working multiple jobs or on projects at once, making work fun. So dive into some hobbies here to kind of relieve a stress load that you may be feeling. It says you may have just recently experienced or are about to experience some losses. This could be weighing heavy on you, affecting how you're moving about life at the moment. And the other one says your family needs more of your time. So considering what the Bible just put into play about family being against you, this could be talking about close friends or people that you have turned into your current family members. There could be something you're doing excessively that you need to chill out on and spend more time with the people around you. The messages here say they have an addiction that you don't know about. It says somebody will continue to attempt to kill you, and be strong, stay strong. Okay, so now we're going to get into the cards. I'm going to pull some cards on your past, then we'll do current situation and universal messages. Alright, Spirit, we're going to draw on Pisces past. Pisces, in your past, you may have felt like you were in a good middle between light and dark. But with the Two of Pentacles, this balance of the red pentacle here being completely filled and this one being almost transparent. I don't think you were aware of the amount of darkness that was around you or that was influencing you. With the foundation being sand, you may have obviously also not had a very secure foundation, not as secure as you thought. You have Two of Wands in reverse. So there was an older female that was watching you balance this light and dark, and very much, I would say, contemplating ways of throwing you off this balance. You see here, she's looking out the window. She may not have much. She's got the world in front of her, the globe, right? So obviously she's got plans for what she wants to do, where she wants to go. And then you have a picture of a vehicle. So this female may have tried to take any type of opportunity of ruining your transportation, um, and stopping you from being able to do any type of traveling, all while she backdoors you and takes any type of opportunities you had coming your way or were currently active in. You're paying no attention to her because on the Two of Pentacles, you're looking down. The Two of Wands, she's looking straight at you. With her being in reverse, you two may not have gotten along. Then you have the Three of Wands here. You're somebody who is used to having to find ways to ignite your own fire so that you can see in that darkness. You may also be used to doing things in the dark, even in real life, because the darkness has been around you for so long. You're also used to or not opposed to doing travel by any means, whether that's walking, running, swimming, vehicle, whatever it is. You're not opposed to putting in that hard work. You evaluate your travel before you go, what it's going to cost you, your distance, things like that. And here on the Three of Wands, you have the star in the sky. So there's obviously a star that watches you, oversees you in the safety. You have the King of Pentacles and then the Eight of Wands. I got one more card for the King of Pentacles and Eight of Wands. So the King of Pentacles is almost I wouldn't say it's divine, but It's somebody a part of some ancestral pack. Here with the wolf sitting next to him, almost as if like he could possibly be a shapeshifter, um, or somebody who is aware of your ancestral history here, but I don't think you know them. It doesn't feel like you know them, but it feels like they're very much a part of this wolf pack that looks over you or watches over you. It's very weird. I don't know, but whatever it is, their money, their information, everything that they receive about you is coming from the divine. This person has watched your opportunities, everything that you've put into creating this life, all the way down to the wheel that you're supposed to be living, that divine has set forth for you, being turned upside down and reversed on you by a magician, a warlock, male witch, whatever you want to call it. And this man is sitting here watching this happen, and I don't think this person is human, because if you look up the magician card here at the bottom, he's delving into the universal sphere right here, drawing his energy and knowledge from that. So I don't know, maybe this King of Pentacles and this magician work together. Maybe this magician is the animal that shapeshifts. Let me get clarity on that. Yep. Let me get clarity on the King of Pentacles and the magician, if they work together. Hmm. This King of Pentacles is a passed on family member. This could be a grandfather, um, or father. Uh, they've directed a male figure in your life to take care of you, watch over you. This male figure turned. This male figure did not do what they were supposed to do. This male figure also worked with 3 other women. This male figure could have been one that was either setting up scenarios for you to walk into and then cleaning them up, so that there was no trail, nothing for you to go back on to collect evidence on, or stealing from you while you're in these situations, right? While these people are doing things to you, uh, distracting you while this person steals from you. The magician was to create an illusion. I think the whole agenda was possibly to cause some type of mental illness or chaos. This male figure is a close family member because you see here the two kids in reverse, like a brother and sister. This older male figure again comes into this card with the dog. He is watching over you and is sending in a Knight of Swords to help you, to protect you, to fight for you or with you. Alright, what's Pisces' current situation? We have the Wisdom card. Then we have the Orphan, the Baby, and the Transportation. You get one more. Pisces, you've probably in all lifetimes have been a water sign. Um, your wisdom comes from Atlantis. I wouldn't be surprised if you know you can communicate with dolphins. If you haven't tried, you probably should. There's also a feeling here between the orphan, baby, and transportation that either you do not belong to the people that raised you, um, and there's a feeling that you are far away from home. And here, because they're hieroglyphic cards, right? From a certain angle, this hand here that is reaching down to the baby, it's a demon face in disguise. So I would say maybe people or an enemy of real birth parents probably took you from your parents. And if that's not the case, then you're looking at you dealing with a situation where you feel like your children, your offspring, are being orphaned from you, and your worry is that they are going to leave and go somewhere far away from you. But because you have the wisdom and the Atlantis card in the front and the back, um, you have dolphin sonar wisdom, which means you're always going to be able to know where your children are, if that's the case. I heard that.